Okay, so the 8 pieces of brocade with the Baduanjin. It's a classic Chinese Qigong exercise. The basics behind it, because that's what I like to share, the basics behind it so everybody understands it. It's an ancient Chinese series of movements, Qigong, Qi, energy, Gong, like Gong Fu, is sort of like energy skill. Or skill, I should say. More into that later. So basically, Qigong. There's all different types of Qigong, and what they use Qigong for, just like today, there are a lot of Qigong practitioners, some better than others, but basically it's a combination of moving the body, it's combining breath work, it's combining energy throughout our bodies because our bodies are filled with energy. And of course, nature is all about energy. Even our lovely sun behind me on this cold winter day is energy. So I want to show you some of the basics behind the Baduanjin exercise that anybody can do. I teach a lot of advanced movements with Qigong stuff and martial arts related stuff. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to do the basics behind this ancient Qigong exercise. 8 pieces of brocade. So a brocade is kind of like, picture one of those real beautiful Chinese garments, and 8 pieces of it. There's 8 different movements, and I'm not going to bore you with, I don't want to say bore you, I don't want to confuse you with some of the complex names, because they're similar names, but they're named differently depending on who's teaching it and depending on the tradition and where it's from in China, that kind of thing. So I want to show you the exercises, the movements, because they're foundational for really good health. And if you practice this particular set of exercises for Qigong, for Baduanjin, or the 8 pieces of brocade, you will be able to have better balance, you'll be able to be stronger, you'll have more energy, you'll be more calm, you'll be more relaxed, and it's a great series of exercises. I do them all the time. And even again on a day like today, on a cold winter day, you can still do it outside because it definitely builds energy. So what I will say is to be calm and relaxed, nice deep breaths, but not overdone. Whenever you're breathing, doing these types of movements, you never want to force it. You want to just have nice, relaxing, energizing breaths. So you want to inhale the energy through the nose, or the air through the nose, and let it circulate through your body and through your lungs. Okay, so you're constantly breathing, and I'll guide you through that. Okay, you never want to go past your limit. Okay, so if, for example, if I say a horse stance, there's no need for us to get down into a martial arts horse stance anymore. That's bad for the knees, it's bad for the hips, it's bad for everything. So do it to where you're comfortable. Some people I teach, some older folks, even younger folks, they don't want to get past this. The point is that the horse stance is like taking a step, toe slightly out, and slightly bending the knees so you're relaxed. You don't want to tuck in your waist, but you also don't want to cock it back. You want to stand up straight like you have a string pulling through the top of your head. Okay, so you're just in an upright position, relaxed. Okay, let your core support you. That's one way I like to look at this. Okay, so let's start talking about the first exercise. Okay, and it's a combination of things, but basically think of it this way. We're going to be thinking of the earth as holding a lot of energy, which it does. There's a lot of energy down there, a lot of energy in the core of the earth. And we're basically dropping our energy and scooping up the energy and bringing it up through our bodies. So you're imagining it. So there's a lot of imagination with this too. That's important, and it's very important actually. It's a critical skill. These types of exercises aren't for people that are like, this isn't for me, this is garbage. This is for people like you that are interested in this type of exercise, and that's why I like to teach this stuff. So pretend you're grabbing energy from the earth and you're bringing it up through your body like this, and you're bringing it up through your core, and you're clasping your fingers together like this, if you can. Okay, otherwise just hold your hand, one hand over the other, and you're bringing the energy up through your body. Imagine it going through your body, through your spine, through your whole core, up to your neck, to your head, and then up to the heavens. It's kind of like holding up the heavens, which is part of one of the names here. Okay, and again, if you have shoulder issues, you can also grab the energy and just go to here if you need to. Just never, ever, ever go past your limits, okay? But if you want to challenge yourself, white or horse stance, grab in, deep breath in through the nose, and push the energy up to the sky, like this. And then drop your arms around down to the ground. This is exercise number 1, holding up the heavens. Again, breathe out, all the way out. Breathe all the way in and up. Now, you can look straight ahead or you can look up. There are different ways of doing this. I like to look up. And then again, you drop the energy down. Bring the energy up. Breathe in, look up, and have the energy go right up into the heavens and pretend you're literally holding up the heavens before you drop your breath. And then just drop your energy out. Okay? So up, hold up the heavens, and drop. And you're going to do that 8 times, 8 movements. Okay, that's form number 1. It's movement number 1. We'll call it holding up the heavens. Okay, so that's form number 1. And then form number 2, what you're going to be doing, we'll call it drawing the bow. Again, there's other names for it. Is when you're done with your 8th movement, you're going to come down here like this. Now, the ultimate movement is, again, a wide horse stance like this. Again, there's different ways of doing it, but a wide horse stance like this. And again, just slightly dropped, so you're at attention. So when you're dropping down here and you're pulling, ultimately we want to be in this position, like we're drawing a bow. But ultimately what we want to do is with this hand, we want to have a fist clenched here. And this hand here, we want to have like we're pointing an L shape, okay, like this. Because this is going to stretch the ligaments and tendons of your fingers. Now, if you can't do that and you want to just do a regular bow stance, that's fine. But work on the posture, okay? Work on good quality posture. So you're like this, okay? If you want to do this, now there's 2 ways to do it. I'm going to show you both ways. The simple way would be if you come around this way and you pull the bow that direction. And we're going to do this 8 times, okay? So we're going to come around this way, and we're going to push this way like this. But what I like to do, again, is coming down here, and I'm actually doing a step. But this is sort of an advanced movement, but I want to show it to you anyway, where you step out as you pull and sink like this. I'll show a more advanced video for this. How's that? I just want to show you what this is. We're holding the finger up like this, okay? And then we're extending this arm out like this, and we're pushing to this side here like so. See? Like that. Okay, but I'm going to show you the intermediate basic movement, okay? So when you're coming off of holding up the heavens, we're going here. We're just going to go down lower. And we're just going to make a basic bow stance like this. Swing your hand around and then go to the other side. And I want you to focus your eyes on the fist, okay? In a straight line. Don't go down here, don't go up here. Nice and straight. And then breathing. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And you're going to do this 8 times, okay? It's drawing the bow. Again, this is the basics, drawing the bow. Next movement, we're going to come to center like this. And now we're separating our energy. We're separating heaven and earth. We'll call it that, separating heaven and earth. So basically, one hand goes up to push up the sky, and one hand goes down. What we're trying to achieve here is really a good deep stretch. This is like a, classic yoga poses, right? Where we're doing these deep stretches. We're doing this. And then we're going to switch. We're going to do that 8 times, but we want to do it slowly with good breath work. So we're separating heaven and earth. One hand up, one hand down. And we're sort of turning our body and looking up at the heaven like this, getting a good deep stretch. Again, if you can't go that far, don't be afraid to just go here. Okay? And here. Focus on breathing. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, okay? But you want to try to get a good deep stretch through your whole body, all the way from my toes. I can feel the stretch go all the way up my body. Okay, so we do that 8 times. So that's form number 3, separating heaven and earth. Now the next one here, we're going to come down here, and we're basically going to be working on our our core movement and our neck movement. So again, if you have neck problems, be very careful here. But basically, what we're doing is we're dropping our hands now, and we're rising up on our toes and spreading our shoulders back and down and turning our head to the left with an inhale and then an exhale. And inhale to the other side. Now the idea here is to get a good stretch while we're turning our head, but not too much. If it hurts your neck, just do it gently. But basically, we're turning our head here. We're gazing backwards. We'll call this gazing backwards. Okay, that's form number 4. We're gazing backwards. That's form number 4. Okay, form number 5, we'll call it shaking the tail. Okay, so basically, when we're done gazing backwards, we're going to come around with our hands and we're going to come down to our knees like this, okay? And again, I'm only showing you the basic level stuff here. And we're basically, I'll do this slow here, but basically, ultimately, let me show you what we're aiming for. We're aiming for going down low, swinging around, and turning around like this, pausing for a second, and coming up. But a basic movement of that is supporting your hands here so you're not hurting your back. And again, if you can only do this, just do little circles. Just do little circles. But basically, we want to try to get as much extension as we can. And we're basically twisting and then coming up. Deep breath in, and then the other direction. Coming around here like this. There are a number of judo exercises I teach that we do this exercise too. It's funny how coincidental a lot of the martial arts share the same movements. But that's basically what we're doing. Again, 8 movements each here. Now there's some exercises where I'll tell you to pause, but it depends on the level that you're trying to do this exercise in. But that's form number 5. Okay, we'll call it shaking the tail. It's kind of like shaking the tail, okay? So after we're done with that, we're going to move on to exercise number 6. And they call this massaging the kidneys, but basically we're bringing our hands together and we're bringing the energy down across our body. Imagine bringing a ball of energy down through your body and then back behind your kidneys. You pause for a second to massage your kidneys and then down through the back of the legs. And what we're going to do, I'll show you what we're aiming for, is we're basically touching the ground, but basically bend your knees slightly and then raise your body up and repeat. Pretend you're washing the energy down through your body. You need to imagine that you're washing the energy down through your body. That's really important. Okay? And you're going to do this 8 times as well. Now, a basic movement of this would be coming down like this. And for beginners like yourself, you're going to come down here and just, depending on your back, I don't know where your back level is at, how strong your back is, but don't be afraid to just rise up. Okay? And wash down lightly like this. Deep breath in, right? Remember to breathe. You could do this as well. But if you feel like doing the advanced movement of moving your energy down to your toes and then rising completely up, again, watch my advanced videos if you want to follow along and do that. Only covering the basics here, okay? So that's massaging the kidneys, because the idea here is to be working on and exercising kidney exercise or kidney energy. That's very important. Okay. So the last two exercises are kind of simple. The second to the last one, form number 7, is actually, we'll call this one gazing angrily. And what they'll do is they'll bring their hands down like this, and you're getting into a horse stance. Don't get in too low. You don't want to hurt your knees. And you're going to cock your fists at your sides, at your rib cage like this, okay? And you're gazing angrily. What I want you to do now is to harness a lot of energy, not mad energy, but serious energy, okay? And you're basically going to be punching straight out like this. And this may be important for the close-up, is like this. And then pretend you're grasping or turning a doorknob to the right, okay? In your case, you're looking left, but turning a doorknob and pulling it back in. And it's the same way with the other hand too. We're punching here while you're keeping the other hand still, punching. Okay, this is your, classic Kung Fu punch, right? But anyway, punching like serious energy. And then turning the doorknob. In this case here, we're turning and grasping to the left and pulling in. Now that's kind of advanced. For beginners like yourself, you want to punch and then just come back. Now if you want, you can punch, 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 but do it slow with breath work, okay? So let me show you. So basically it's like a horse, again, a horse stance, straight up horse stance, not lean back or lean forward. Punch, twist, pull. Punch, twist, and pull. You're pulling, I don't want to say aggressively, but you're definitely pulling with intention, like pulling your energy in. Serious, okay? Serious stuff. You're doing this 8 times. But again, for basics, if you just want to punch, but don't just throw your arm out like this. I want you to punch like you mean it, and then punch with the other hand, and you're going to turn your core. Punch, punch, okay? 8 times. You're going to do this 8 times. But if you want to try the advanced method, careful your knees. If you want to just stand up straight, bend your knees slightly, punch, twist, and pull, punch, twist, and pull. You can do that as well, okay? And then the final exercise, I call it shaking the ground, is basically now you have this energy as you're bringing it up on your toes, and then you are literally dropping like this, okay? And what I like to do is slam my heels, boom, and try to shake the earth. You literally try to imagine that you are shaking the earth, okay? So you're coming up like this, and then you rise up on your toes, and then just bang. And you do that 7 times. All the movements, oddly enough, there's 8 movements. The last one is done 7 times. So we're coming up like this. We're rising up. Energy drops down into the earth. Rising up, drops down into the earth. Okay, 7 times. And that would complete all the movements. Those are the 8 movements of Baduanjin, or the 8 pieces of brocade. And that's very basic level. So keep watching for other basic level videos on this stuff and try to follow along. But I wanted you to cover the basics. Okay, so let me just review it one last time. Okay, so form number 1, we're basically going to be bringing in the energy and holding up the heavens. Okay, we're doing that 8 times, holding up the heavens 8 times. Okay, and the next thing we're going to be going into the bow, drawing the bow, remember? And we're going to do that 8 times, drawing the bow 8 times, right? Then we're going to separate heaven and earth like this. 1, 2, slowly, so with breathing. I'm just showing you quickly, separating heaven and earth, okay? Then we're going to be looking backwards, up on our toes, looking backwards, okay? Then we're going to be coming down here. We're going to be shaking the tail, right? Remember? Okay. Next movement. Do you remember the next movement? We're basically going to be coming down here, massaging the kidneys, down here and up. It's the next movement, right? And then after that, what's next? That's right, we're going to come down here. We're going to be angrily punching, like this, 8 punches. And then finally, we're going to be shaking the earth. Bang, boom, okay? And that is the very, very basics of the Baduanjin, or the 8 pieces of brocade. So follow along. I have other videos. I'm going to be teaching more advanced methods of this, but I had a couple of friends asking me to go over the basics just so you know what the heck a Baduanjin means, or 8 pieces of brocade means, and that's what it means. 8 pieces of brocade. Awesome Qigong exercise.